So Japan actually had a premium tournament this past weekend, and there were some stakes. You know, the winner gets to go to nationals, and at least for us, the premium format has been pretty stale because there hasn't been that many changes. But because Japan only gets like 1 or 2 premium tournaments a year, this is like their chance to play the format, and sometimes they bring some really crazy stuff simply because, one, they just want to play with their favorite decks, or two, they don't actually know what is the meta, right? What is the best deck? So they could be bringing some really weird brews. So yeah, let's kind of take a look at them. I'm only going to look at the top 16. They did use diversity cut for this, so it's not like this is just the clear top 16. I think diversity cut was either in like 4th or 5th place, but honestly, it's like it's kind of a bit messy anyway. Diversity cut for this for premium actually just benefits like anyone who's not any clan that's not in like the undefeated section. So it's kind of anyway. So we have a large variety of decks, right? And Angel Feather, Bermuda, Dementia Police, Shadow. We definitely don't see a lot of these decks at all in our English format. Mega Colony, Nubatama, Genesis, and Pale Moon. But then we have like 2 Neo-Nectars. We have a Link Joker, 2 Grand Blues, Aquaforce, Makrumo, and a Narukami. So let's just kind of go take a look at it. The first place, the winner of the whole tournament, was actually Neo-Nectar, because of course, right, best deck in format. This Neo-Nectar, I don't really think there's anything that special. You know, you got the Archers, you got the Stampion. This is just basically a deck that you'd actually just see probably in the West, and they probably did. They probably went to VG Paradox and just took a look at some of the winner decks and just went, "Yo, let's copy it. It's easy, right?" So yeah, you know, Katrina and just your stand Neo-Nectar. The second place was also a Neo-Nectar. This ran a bunch more text though, right? It's got the Asha there, but it's also running like V Asha as well. We got another Ines, right? So a lot of one-off text there, but the rest of the core is still pretty simple. I'm not going to go too far into these as well because, again, right, they're pretty straight. We know what Neo-Nectar does, right? But then in third place was really surprising. There was an Aquaforce deck that came third, and although the construction of this Aquaforce deck is as well pretty similar to, I think, what we see in the West a lot. You have a lot of the modern it's like modern text. Do I put it like that? If you have some of the old Thavis, right? Just to be able to go superior stride when you can. But then you have like the Genovius Legion, and this kind of just makes more attacks, and you just pray you don't see any Honolees, right? So when we think about why this is third place, well, there were 2 Neos in top cut, and they all ran in the top 2, and they all ran 4 Honolees. You can play like very aggressive with this deck, of course. You just like rush, push, but at the same time, the moment you know, your opponent starts dropping Honolees, I just feel like this deck doesn't really. It was cool before the changes, right? But in terms of aggression, it's still there. And I think if we look at what came fourth, you can see why this deck probably did okay. Because fourth place is probably one of the most unique decks in the top 16. We have this Genesis build. And the 2 Genesis builds that we know in the West is really the Fenrir Control build and also the Regalia build, right? But this one is not either of those. This is kind of more reminiscent of the old Wiseman loops, except in a modern context. So first off, we have like the old Fenrirs, but then we see they're running like the Norn and Yggdrasil package, which we don't normally run. Now, how does this deck works is we have like the things like Gelger and all that, and you'd ideally want to just, as soon as possible, Soul Charge your entire deck, and then you can use your Valencias, these guys, to kind of stack the bottom part of your deck. So you can stack something like Crit OT, Crit OT, something like that. And then you would just kind of trigger with Amaruta, right? With Amaruta. And since you Soul Charged, you give one of your Reguards 10k and a crit, you Soul Charged a lot, so you can get the Guard Restrict, the Sentinel Restrict, and then you just trigger the OT. Any one of your Reguards, right? Any one of your Reguards, just trigger OT, a couple of crits, then you have a Force 2 on that as well, and the Amaruta crit. So it's probably hitting like 4 to 5 crits with 100 million power and Sentinel Restrict. So that kind of combination means you really can't guard unless you're a clan that has like funky G-Guards that can, you know, stop that, or you can do some hostage shenanigans and move things along, or if you have a Sanctuary. But this does like 3 attacks, right? Because you have the first attack, and then you restand with the over-trigger effect, and then you have a Norn that can restand as well. So it's like at least 3 attacks of unguardable, a lot of crits. So I'm guessing that's just kind of my thoughts on the deck. There's probably a few more combos you can do as well, but this is purely like a Genesis combo deck. And then the problem is, like, with this deck, if you get, this is a combo deck, if you just get rushed, or if you don't have like the correct cards, you'll probably just straight up lose. And I feel like in our format, if we play like 7 rounds of this before top cut, you're gonna feel very sad because the game is like so aggressive now. When you look at what the top 3 decks, the top 3 placings in this tournament, it was Aquaforce, Near, right? These are all very aggressive decks that will just like shut you down off the bat by playing very aggressive. And I think that's going to be more so when it comes to our metagame. So although this deck, again, very cool, very interesting, definitely one of the most unique ones here, I do feel like it's very fragile. It probably won't work that well in our format. But yeah, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. But then moving on, we have like the Angel Feather. So this was just an Angel Feather Gize. Nothing really too special, I think. Angel Feather recently got, you know, the grade 2 and the grade 1. So I guess it's like more extra defensive power there. And more consistency, I guess. But you still run your old Gabriel stuff with the Haniel to just kind of do as many checks as possible and then just go into Gize ASAP, right? So, yeah. Pretty nice. And then this one, okay, this is also, I guess, is also one of the more unique ones. So this is Pacifica. I know Different Fight said he got destroyed by a Pacifica deck, and I'm wondering if this is the one. Pacifica's like a pretty high roll deck, right? Most of the Bermuda Triangle decks in Premium are Highlander. And sometimes Riviera, but Pacifica, you have the... I really want to click this one, but yeah. You have like the triple guard restrict if you push early, and then your opponent can't really guard, right? I honestly don't know what the rest of these Pacifica cards do. I'm guessing you can still like... don't want to click on that. It's fine. I remember talking about this. It's a great rush deck, but it bricks pretty hard. But you have to remember that in the Japan scene, the format is pretty quick. I guess like there's not that many rounds. I think they had like 4 or 5 rounds in Swiss before cutting to like top 16. So you can kind of get away with a very aggressive deck that is slightly inconsistent, and I guess this would be one of them. But then again, you could just play a lot of the other Bermuda Triangle decks, right? And I think they'll still be fine. I'm pretty sure this guy's just a huge Pacifica fan because everything here is super high rarity. All right. Next is the Dimension Police. I was about to say Dayusha. Like, man, Dayusha's not a clan though. This is the Dimension Police. This is the Cosmic Hero build with Gallop, and I think this is the way to go. I do think, you know, old school, you relied on Dylina. You go into is it Unicorn? It's like Unibird, sorry. Go to Unibird, you make big power, do a big attack with guard restrict. Your opponent can't guard that, they just get one shot. What a cool life, right? But nowadays, everyone has Sanctitude, everyone has new PGs that aren't PGs, but they're G-Guardians. So trying to do that play is not very good. But now you have your new Superior Strides with your old Stride Bearers, and this kind of works very well because this lets you go into Gallop more. And once you're going to Gallop, it means like some of your matchups, your previously poor matchups, like against Grand Blue, are suddenly better because you just have like more attacks in. You're just kind of burning more of their PGs. So I think that's better, right? I don't think that's better. But this guy is not running that many X Gallops. Right? He's only running 1. So I mean, that's, I guess there goes that idea, right? I think you should definitely run more than 1, but I guess there's like... he's not running any Dylinas at all, though. Only 1 Dizaurus as well, so... It's definitely supposed to be a very aggressive deck, but I'm just not seeing... I feel like you should run more than 1. Okay, I think you should run more than 1. Because, yeah, more attacks the better, and then your Hell Tiger can, like, restand and all that, so... Just to get more lethal columns to swing in and push for game, right? Next we have is the Shadow Paladin. This was actually just a raging form list, which is kind of expected because you can just buy a raging form like premium deck and call it a day. With this raging deck, you can still do the super combo, right? Everyone dreams of it. I'm not running any of the raging reverse though. I guess you probably don't have to run it, but it's running Legion though. Do you actually have? Is Legion actually good? Right? Is that Legion actually good? But yeah, so none of the reverse Raging Fall basically, and yeah, just go into you have the big combo. You still have like more fesses just to push. But yeah, all right, pretty okay, pretty okay. This is the Mega Colony list. What I heard, Chris told me that Mega Colony is very popular in Japan. Just because everyone who thinks of Premium goes, hey, Mega Colony seems pretty good. This is the only Mega Colony that made it through, and I feel like, again, it's one of those decks where if you practice more against it, its power vastly diminishes. Because the main thing about it is, I'm guessing it's very popular in Japan. Similar to another deck as well, because just not that many people are in tune with Premium. It's kind of like a skill check, right? Dark Face list. It's okay. It's got 3 Dark Faces there. You know, some old Ghidorahs, and it's got basically what I guess is basically what you want in most of this the Mega Colony decks, right? It's got the moths, the blisters. So yeah, actually a very normal list. We have a relatively different Nubatama list. This one is Crest Nui, of course, so it's got all the nice shenanigans in here. We do have like the 4 Eyes, and then Esmeraldas. So now if you like check a lot of the previous lists, I think you see a lot of Angel Ladder, right? So this might, like, I'm just going backwards. This one's not running it because it's Dayusha, but this one's also, I guess Pacifica doesn't need it, but I remember seeing a lot of ladders, right? There's a ladder. So a lot of decks are running ladders to kind of deny any playabilities, which is kind of funny because that kind of negates your like Furai turns. But if you run Esmeraldas, you can still make a lot of multi-attack, right? So I guess the Esmeraldas are like okay. The other thing is also that they're running Mizukaze. So I noticed a lot of players when they started going into the Crest Nui list, they slowly moved away from this card, even though it's an insane card. I still think it's crazy good. But yeah, 2 copies though. I feel like most of them would just run 1. But yeah, this Crest Nui just doing work. So alright, nice. And then we have is a Pale Moon list. So this Harry list, this is something I think we'll be able to get very soon, and I feel like this is at least decently powerful. So Crest Harry, to just kind of pop off and make Excel with Crest power. This is probably just a nice little view into the future. Just full on 4 Harrys though, 4 old school Harrys. No more of the stage stuff it seems. And then just you have your like you got your cats and then just normal starter. So a lot of the text too. 4 stand triggers. Wow. Okay. Yeah, pretty nice. Just Harry list for premium. And then this is the other deck that I was talking about that is similar to Mega Colony in Japan, is Chaos. Now, I feel like Chaos is pretty much, again, another skill check in this format. I feel like a lot of decks now, they have decent amount of tools to deal with the Chaos. Not only do they have maybe ways to unlock cards, but also just straight up beat you up, right? One of the key problems with Chaos, or Link Joker in general, is that it just doesn't really have any decent G-guards. So if you just hit very hard and sometimes very fast, if they lock, like, sure they can lock you, but if you have outs to the lock, then they could just straight up be dead, right? They just straight up be dead. So pretty interesting, right? Another Chaos is made in top 16, but again, I want to say probably a skill check. Not everyone like knows what to do against it, or probably even just forgot how to play against it. So when people get sloppy, you can get some wins with Chaos. And then here is the Murakumo deck. Now, this is just pure Hiaki deck, right? So we've got Hiaki, the Hiaki reverse, and we got Hiaki Zora, which counts as Hiaki reverse. I'm guessing, not too 100% sure about Murakumo, but I'm guessing like this is utilizing some of the old like G cards where you can kind of bottom deck your reverse units and then just cash in and still make more like field in a way. So feels like a pretty decent combo deck. There's no I guess you're using Shibaraku Victor to do work, right? And then none of the other weird stuff that you normally see with Murakumo, right? This is, you normally see a lot of Shiryukis. Some of them play the restand combo a lot, but this one, no. It just feels like you just I'm guessing you can just make a bunch of Hiaki Rogues and then just like give them all back attack and give them a bunch of power as well, and just kind of bash maybe. I have to like look deeper into the Hiaki deck. It's definitely something interesting, one of the more interesting ones out there right now, from the Japan side. And then some Grand Blues. Like, I mean, what did we expect? I'm surprised Grand Blues didn't make top 4, but we have Crest Grand Blue now, and this is just a sea, like a sea of like one-offs. I'm very curious. Unfortunately, we don't get to see much of this in our BCS season, right? Because the OWL set comes out in January, and then we probably have a few tournaments after that where we can see this, with Harry as well. I'm curious to see which one is the top. This is actually Crest Grand Blue as well. I think it's debatable. Is Crest Grand Blue actually better than normal Grand Blue? I mean, you get power, but it's not like Excel where you get a bunch of power, right? And then your rewrites become kind of weird because you have to always ride the Night Rose. But then, like, sometimes it's actually good to ride Beatrice, right? So I guess you just lose a bit, but I guess you don't have to go Crest all the time as well. You can be just a normal person. So yeah, this is the one of the Grand Blue lists, and the other one is here as well. This is another Crest Grand Blue. Yeah, so both Crest Grand Blues, both Crest Grand Blues. This one is not running Nightstorm though, and I have seen people take out Nightstorm. The previous one was. But I've seen some people take it out just because it's kind of a brick, and you can't ride it or anything. You know, it kind of can mess up your hand a bit. So you can take it out and still get a decent amount of attacks, I guess, with the PR grade 2 searcher. So maybe I think it's all right. I think it's all right. Because you're also, you're getting a bunch of power from the Crest anyway, so that kind of makes up for maybe missing one of those attacks. So, okay, cool. And then lastly, we have a Vanquisher list. So this one is pretty interesting as well. It's like Vanquisher. We actually can't play this one because they, like in Japan, they don't have the Demolition Dragon and Sweep Command restrict. So we actually can't play them in the same deck. But this is like Vanquisher into Sweep Command, but focusing a lot on Esmeralda as well as like the main attack, because they're running this D card that can salvage it. So, I mean, that's pretty good. It's like kind of free as well, because if your Vanguard's usually grade 4 when you play this. So, yeah, you just kind of get it back, and then the rest of it's just kind of just normal stuff, right? Like, you know, churros. You can play the new, well, not really the new, but it's like the Encounter Thunderstorm Dragoon, just to get like some top checks, right? And then yeah, what is this card? This is all the way back. So one of the cards that move cards around. So okay, pretty interesting, I guess. It's just your good old Narukami stuff that we miss because we don't have Demolition Dragon anymore. Or we do, but then we can't play Sweep Command, which is like the best, probably the best of the lot. But yeah, I think like the most interesting, this is like the last list, by the way. I think the most interesting one was Choroshika's Genesis list, like the super combo. We did see the Hiaki. I think that the Hiaki one is pretty cool as well. I think these two are my standouts. The other one, I guess the other unique one was Pacifica, but we'll leave it there. Yeah, those two. Which deck was your favorite, right? Put in the comments, which deck was your favorite from this? If you want to see what was in the tops, maybe Fuzzy will post it later, but it is on the Japanese website. You can just put in the deck codes if you want on screen into the Japanese deck log to take a look. I just kind of wanted to see, yeah, what's going on in Premium in Japan before my BCS coming up soon. Maybe I can get some ideas from it. Anyway, that's it from me. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, right? What's your favorite list? And I'll see you all next time, all right? Bye.